Good day, everyone. I'm Sir Erzi Layson, your math tutor and guide on this exciting journey through the world of numbers. In this video, we will discuss all about logic, biconditional, if and only if statement. The connective for biconditional statement is P if and only if Q is called biconditional written by P double implies Q or P if and only if Q. So we have here, instruction is we need to rewrite the following condition statements into converse and biconditional statement. We have here the given conditional statement. Now, why we need to use the conditional statement and converse statement in finding the biconditional? Because later on the truth table, we need also to identify first the biconditional and converse statement, so that we can get the result for the biconditional statement. So we have here example number one, the conditional statement written, if a triangle is equilateral, then all its sides are of equal length. So our hypothesis here is, or our P statements is triangle is equilateral, and our Q statement or our conclusion is its sides are equal or of equal length. So we have here our converse statement. So when you say converse, diba, you just need to interchange the hypothesis and conclusion. So in conditional statement, we have P implies Q. The converse statement is Q implies P. So if all the sides of the triangle are of equal length, then it is equilateral. Now, in biconditional statement, you just need to write the P statement, then put the connective if and only if, and then you write the Q statement. A triangle is equilateral if and only if all its sides are of equal length. So that's how you write the biconditional statement given a conditional statement and converse statement. Next, example number two, if you will pass the exam, then you study hard. So we have here our P statement, you will pass the exam. Our Q statement, you study hard. So if P, then Q. So for that is the conditional statement. For the converse statement, interchange the hypothesis and conclusion. So we have Q implies P. If you study hard, then you will pass the exam. And for the biconditional, you just need to write the P statement and the connective if and only if, and the Q statement. We have you will pass the exam if and only if you study hard. Next example, we have if a number is divisible by 2, then it is an even number. So we have here our P statement, a number is divisible by 2. Our Q statement, it is an even number. So we have here the converse statement, Q implies P, so or if Q then P. So if it is an even number, then it is divisible by 2. That is then. And our biconditional statement, a number is divisible by 2 if and only if it is an even number. Next, if the switch is in the on position, then the lights in the room are on. So that's your conditional statement, or your if P then Q. Now your converse statement, so if Q then P. So we have if the light in the room are on, then the switch is in the on position. Next, we have the biconditional statement, or P double implies Q. So we have the light in the room are on if and only if the switch is in the on position. Next, number 5, if a figure is a square, then it is quadrilateral with four equal sides and 4 right angles. So we have our P statement, a figure is a square. Then our Q statement, it is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. So that is our conditional statement. Our converse statement, interchange the hypothesis and conclusion. So you have Q implies P, or if Q then P. So we have if a figure is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles, then it is a square. And our biconditional statement, so we have P if and only if Q. So a figure if a square if and only if it is a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. So in the truth table, no, in our previous lesson, we've already try to construct a truth table, no, given symbolic form na mga statements natin. Now, we need to also identify what kind of statements in the final answer na. So, a tautology is a statement that is always true. So, when you look at the your last part of your answer, if all of the results are true, so that means that is a tautology truth table. And then a self-contradiction is always false. So if the result of your final column is all false, that means it is self-contradiction. And if the results are mixed, so we have true, false, or true, true, false, false, something like that, that is contradiction. So we need to identify those terms in constructing truth table. So we have here, let's try to construct a truth table of P if and only if Q, or P double implies Q. So we have here, we have two propositions which are P and Q. So we have P statement, we have true, true, false, false. And our Q statement, true, false, true, false. Next, in finding the biconditional statement class, we need also to identify in the truth table the conditional statement of P and Q and the converse statement of P and Q. So we have here P implies Q, so that means that is the conditional statement. Again, let's have a recall about conditional statement. False lang siya class if your first statement is true and your second statement is false. So the rest are true. So that is the strategy on that. So we have true, true, that is true. Your first statement is true, your second statement is false, that is false. Your first statement is false, your second statement is true, that is true. If your first statement is false and your second statement is false, that is also true. Next, in the converse statement, interchange the hypothesis and conclusion. So you have Q implies P. Now, your Q statement is your first statement na, and your P statement is your second statement. So we have here true, true, that is true. False, true, that is true also. True, false, that is false. And false, false, that is true. Now, we can now identify the P if and only if Q. So we have here, we will look at the conditional statement and converse statement. Now, how can we identify now in the biconditional part na sa atong truth table? True, it is true when the results are the same. So if you have your conditional statement is true and your converse statement is true, the result of your P if and only if Q is true. And if the result is false in the conditional statement and your converse statement is false also, the answer for your P if and only if Q is true also. Again, true, 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 false, false, true. Then true and false is false, and false and true is false. So we have here true, true, that is true. False, true, that is false. True, false, that is false. And true, true, that is true. Now, you look at the result. This is your final answer. We have true, false, false, true. Mixed ang kaniyang result. So, that means that is contradiction. Another example, let's construct the table of values of P or Q if and only if Q. So, we have two propositions here. Your P statement is true, true, false, false. Your Q statement is true, false, true, false. So, let's find the value in here na, P or Q. So, that is disjunction, right? Mo false lang siya when both statement are false, the rest are true. So, true, true, that is true. True, false, that is true. False, true, that is true. False, false, that is false. So, since we have the P or Q statement and we have the Q statement here, let's find the conditional statement of our given. So, we have P or Q implies Q. So this is your first statement, your second statement. So true, true, that is true. True, false, that is false. True, true, that is true. And false, false, that is true. Then next, the converse statement na ta class. So Q implies P or Q. So this will be your first statement, your Q, and your second statement is P or Q. So true, true, that is true. False, true, that is true. True, true, that is true. And false, false, that is true. Next, we can now find the P or Q if and only if Q. Again, let's have a recall. It is true when the results are the same. So if your conditional is true and your converse is true, that means the biconditional is true. If your conditional is false and your converse is false, the result of your biconditional is true. So true, 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 false, true, false, true, 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 true. Since it is mixed, no, na true, na false result, so that means that is contradiction. So in compound statement and grouping symbols, no, so let's have a recall, no, and then let's try to, how can we group the compound statement? So for example, we have the symbolic form P and Q or not R. The English statement is P and Q or not R. The parenthesis indicates Q and not R are grouped together. The comma indicates that Q and not R are grouped together because they are both on the same side of the commas. And then for here in symbolic form, P and Q or R is, in English sentence is P and Q or R. The parenthesis indicates that P and Q are grouped together. The comma indicates P and Q are grouped together because they are both on the same side of the commas. In symbolic form, we have here, no, conditional statement. If P and not Q, then R or S. The English sentence is if P and not Q, then R or S. The parenthesis indicates that P and Q are grouped together. And then we have here, P and not Q are grouped together and R and S are also grouped together. The comma indicates that P and not Q are grouped together because they are both on the left side comma. And R and S are grouped together because they are both on the right side. So in the left side and on the right side. So let's have an example for this one. We need to write the symbolic statement as an English sentence. Use P, Q, R, S, T as and T as defined below. So we have your P statement, Sarah G is a singer. Our Q statement, Sarah G is not a songwriter. R statement is Sarah G is an actress. S statement is Sarah G plays the piano. And T statement is Sarah G does not play the guitar. So let's have number one. We have P or R and Q. So Sarah G is a singer, or our statement is Sarah G is an actress, and no, we put comma and then she is not a songwriter. That is your Q statement. So Sarah G is a singer or an actress, and she is not a songwriter. Next one, we have not S. So not S is, we have here conditional statement. So if not S, then P and not Q. So not S is Sarah G does not play the piano. And then our parenthesis is she is a singer, and Q statement is Sarah G is not a songwriter, so it's not Q man and a songwriter. So let's have the sentence. If Sarah G does not play the piano, then she is a singer and a songwriter. Sarah G, the not S na statement, the S statement is Sarah G plays the piano, so not S or negate S. Sarah G does not play the piano. And then the P statement here is Sarah G is a singer. and the not Q statement are given is Sarah G is not a songwriter, so it's not Q man negate of Q. That means she is a songwriter. So since it is conditional, so if not S, then P and not Q. So if Sarah G does not play the piano, then she is not a singer and a songwriter. Next we have if P, then Q, and not R. So we have here, if Sarah G is a singer, that is your P statement, then she is not a songwriter, so that is your Q statement, and not an actress, that is your not R statement. Again, if Sarah G is a singer, then she is not a songwriter and not an actress. Next, we have if S and not Q, then T. So we have if Sarah G plays the piano and is a songwriter, then she does not play the guitar. That is how you translate a symbolic statement to English sentence. So, in constructing truth tables for a statement that involves a combination of conjunction, disjunction, and or negation of two simple statements, start with a table with 4 rows and standard truth table. So let's have this example. Construct a truth table for P, if P, then P or Q. So we have here P or Q are grouped together. So that means we have our P statement, true, true, false, false. Our Q statement is true, false, true, false. So we have P or Q, so that means this is just disjunction, right? So it is false when both statements are false. So true, true. Our first statement is P, our Q statement is our Q statement is second statement. So we have true, true, we have true, true, false, we have true, false, true, we have true, and false, false, we have false. So since we've already find na the answer of P or Q, so we can now identify the if P, then P or Q. So our first statement is P, our second statement is P or Q. So mo false lang siya, class. Recall, if conditional, if our first statement is true and the second statement is false, so that means the rest are true na dayon. So true, true. So we have true, 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 true. So our first statement is false, our second statement is true, so that means this is also true. False ang first statement, second statement is false, that is also true. So that is a tautology, or P, if P, then P or Q is tautology, class. Next, let's construct the truth table of not P or Q or P. So we have here not P, right? So let's construct the truth table first. So there are given two statements, P and Q. So P is true, true, false, false. Our Q statement is true, false, true, false. Our not P is negate lang nito, class. So true, false, false, true, false, true. Next, we get the group class kanang not P or Q. So we have here our not P and our Q statement. So that is or, right? Disjunction. Mo false lang siya when both statement are false. So we have here false, true, we have true, false, false, we have false, true, true, we have true, true, false, that is true. Next, we just need to negate the group not P or Q. So negate lang nato ning not P or Q. So that is we have true, we have false, false, we have true, true, we have false, we have true, and then false. Next, since we've already find na the not P or Q, so let's find na this one as a whole na. So or gihapon ang atong symbol or disjunction. So our first statement is not P or Q, and our second statement is P statement. So we have here or man atong symbol, disjunction mo false lang siya when both statement are false. So we have false, true, we have true, 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 we have true, false, false, we have false, and false, false, we have false. So that is contradiction since mix man ang ilang final answer. So you try to answer this one in your activity. So construct the truth table for P uh, or Q and not Q and R. So you tried this one because in our quiz or atong exam is possible this kind of truth table ang mugawas. You try to answer and practice this one in your notebook. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you'd learned something out of this lesson. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you so much again, everyone. Goodbye.